It's Ace OG going live here, walking towards a building, I should say. Building I'm going to talk to some folks about some job opportunities and some 1099 work. Still grinding, still pushing forward, right? They've been furloughed. I know a lot of folks may not be on this live up here now. It's a little bit after lunchtime. Well, actually, I'm sorry. It's during lunchtime right now, but I know sometimes when I get on live during this time of day, I don't get a lot of folks that follow me come on the channel, but it's fine. Beauty of the beauty of going live is that it's saved and folks can always go back and watch it later. And I'll put it as a title for this live so folks understand where I'm coming from when I'm talking on this live here. But it's not going to be a random live. It's going to be talking about some things to leverage guys up just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because the channel, I created this channel initially to help men. But over time, seems like I've had a lot more women followers than men. Actually, it might be 50-50 now. But I want to say that most of the folks that are on my channel are men, but I have a lot of women that comment on my channel a lot more than men, which is fine. It is what it is, and I'm still gonna keep doing what I do here on this channel, and keep pushing videos out to give you leverage to better yourselves, right? So I'm going to give some clarity and some advice to men that are trying to level up in their lives and are trying to do better for themselves, right? So for myself, um, I wasn't raised by my father, wasn't raised by any man. Honestly, I was raised by my grandmother and my mom. And as a grandmother first because my grandmother is who we lived with. My mom never moved out the house. She has her own place now because my grandmother's passed. But until I was 20 years old and I joined the army, we lived in my grandmother's apartment. And so you got me without a man in the house. And I'm not saying that they didn't do a good job because I'm very pleased with what they did for me. I love my grandmother to death. Rest in peace to her. My mom is still living. I love her to death as well. But I'd be lying if I said that you know, me not having my father in my life or a male role model in my life didn't affect me in a negative way. And it took a lot of trial and tribulations. It took a lot of effort for me to get to the point where I'm at right now. And it wasn't easy, man. It wasn't. So to be a little bit transparent with that, so my dad, um, well, my mom, my dad, they split I think my mom said I was like 10 months old, something like that. And they never got married. And he joined the Marine Corps during that time. I'm assuming that he joined the Marine Corps to better himself. And he had some medical issues that happened while he was in his school. He actually passed basic, got to his school, and then some medical issues came up, and then he got discharged. So he never actually went to his first duty station as a Marine. And then he moved down to Atlanta, and then he started working there, doing some construction work. And I didn't physically see my father until I was 6 years old. I'll never forget it. I don't have too many memories from that time in my life, but I do remember that one very clearly. I was sitting on my grandmother's porch, and he pulled up in a red Corvette. This is 1984. So he had a cousin named Butch, and that was his car. So he pulled up. I didn't know who he was. I'm pretty sure I had saw some pictures of him before that time, but at 6 years old, I had never seen my father physically. So um, it's I didn't know who he was. So he said who he was and everything, and we went in the house, we talked, and he saw my mom and everything. And what's crazy is my mom was actually pregnant with my brother during that time from another gentleman. So I think what was going on was that he was trying to come back into my mom's life, and I guess he had got himself together. He had got a really good job in Atlanta, and I think he was trying to court my mom again. And of course, my mom was already pregnant and everything with and dating somebody. So that was out the water. So he was there for maybe like 3 weeks, and then he left. And then I didn't see my father again until I was 21. Came back from Korea, and over a 3 year span, we saw each other periodically, and I would call him and ask him advice and some things or whatever. And then he passed away. He drowned in a swimming pool in Atlanta. Very tragic. So rest in peace to my dad. But from the time I was 6 to the time I was 20, I yearned and longed to see my father and know what he was doing, and then to be able to ask him questions and basically to be in my life. And I'm telling you, it's not too many times when I was growing up that I did not want to see my father and wanted to talk to him and actually just be around him. Every child should have both parents. They should, right? Um, so with my dad not being there or just not having a very good male role model being around me, it affected me. It really did. I'm not saying I didn't have any male role models around me, but I got to be honest, and I'm not saying this to talk bad about them or anything like that. But I mean, but most of the male role models I had around my life were not very good role models at all. My brother's father, he was there, but he wasn't there. I don't recall any time where he counseled me on anything or even disciplined me. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? He didn't live with us, so he was doing his own thing. He would come by and he'd buy me school clothes, all these other things, but he just wasn't there as a dad. If that makes any sense. Most of my uncles were alcoholics. Most of the other men that was around my life were alcoholics or drug addicts. I was raised in the projects, right? So, I had a lot of negative male role models in my life during that time. And I mean, it affected me. It really did. But I don't make that as an excuse. I tell my boys all the time, I got two sons. I tell my boys all the time that I want them to be better than me. And hopefully I raised them right and I raised them to be good stand-up men. But I always put myself in a mind state where I don't let my circumstances that I was in when I was growing up affect how I raise my sons and how I navigate life as a man. And I think there's a lot of men out here in this day and age, they use the excuse that they didn't have a father in their life to put themselves in a situation to where like, oh, well, I'm not gonna be successful because I didn't have a good male role model in my life. You know what I'm saying? Well, once you become an adult, man, you know what I'm saying, that excuse goes out the water. It does. It goes out the water, man. It does. You know what I'm saying? As a man, you cannot make an excuse for anybody else not being in your life to be unsuccessful. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Because the world don't care about your circumstance and how you was raised. They don't. They want results. They want you to be a man. They want you to do man stuff. They want you to be a role model to people. And once you have a family, you can't go to your wife and say that, oh, I don't, I'm not this person because I didn't have a father in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. You gotta take accountability for yourself because even though you may not have had a lot of male good male positive influence in your life, once you become an adult, you have to navigate this thing on your own if you have to. And that's what happened with me, right? I made it happen. I tried to do the best I could, and I stayed off the streets. I didn't sell drugs. I didn't hurt people. I didn't rob people. None of that stuff. And a lot of the friends that I had when I was growing up did those things. And some was able to, to turn their lives around and be positive, and some have families now. And then I have a lot of my friends, unfortunately, that are dead because they were in the street lights. And then I have a handful of friends of mine that were really good friends of mine. They're in jail right now. Some are never coming out of jail. So, excuse me, y'all, I can't see the comments, so sorry about that. Maybe when I walk up here, I'll be able to see some of the comments. But you know, the environment I was in, honestly, is a perfect scenario for me to have been somebody that would not have been a good person. Honestly, everything negative that could have turned me into somebody bad was stacked against me from the time I was born. What I'm saying? I was born in poverty. I was born in the projects. I was born in a very bad situation, right? So, in every sense of the word, I should have been a thug. I should have been somebody that was going around just doing crazy, stupid stuff. And I just always had this mentality that I want to do better for myself. And I'm not saying that my friends and folks that I grew up with was in the same way, but I just had a yearning not to be that way. Always had a yearning like that. You know what I'm saying? And that propelled me towards doing a lot better. Um, but it was hard for me to do those things without having a very good positive role model in my life, a man in my life. My grandmother, my mom, they were very good role models, but I mean, I needed that male influence. I just did, man. I needed it. You know what I'm saying? And at 47 years old, I have not arrived. I'm still learning. I'm still progressing. I'm still trying to better myself as a man. As a man, you should always have a mindset where like you should not be satisfied with the results you have right now. I mean, you can definitely, appreciate and celebrate your results so you have positive, right? But you should always have, I guess, a sense of I guess I wouldn't say urgency, but I mean, you should always be in a mindset where like, what's the next thing that I can do that's positive? What's the next thing that I can do that's going to be a big impact on other people? And what's going to be the thing that I can do to give myself leverage to better myself every single day? I could live to be 90 years old, and at 89, I'm still going to keep learning. I'm still going to try to do things to better myself and to better my family and to better my circumstances. And that's how men become successful. They don't settle. They just don't. You know what I'm saying? So for the man that's watching this video right now, man, don't ever try to make an excuse for yourself. Ever. Don't never try to put excuses on yourself. Don't never try to put limitations on yourself. Because you can do anything you want to do. You can. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be positive, you want to be a good role model, if you want to be successful in life, you can do it, regardless of which circumstance you're in right now. Things can be bleak right now, things can be grim right now for yourself. But hard times don't last forever. And you can be the person that propels yourself to success if you want to do it. You put your mind to it. Hold on, y'all. Trying to read some of these comments. What's going on? Justice, what's going on? Love rapper, what's up? Lee Chronicles going on. Hey Kelly, how you doing? Who is that? Is that Rawi? Rawi. What's up in the hood? No, I'm not in the hood, man. I'm in DC right now. Actually, I'm just walking from the station going to another building here. But yeah, I just wanted to get on live right quick, whatever, just give some insight on some things, and to be able to talk to men right quick. I made a video earlier today about XRP, so that's up and loaded. So go and check the video out. But I knew I wasn't gonna be able to make a video and then upload it here because I got off the train. I'm going right to the building. I'm not gonna be able to upload anything. But the good thing about live is that once I end this, it'll start saving on its own. Now it may not actually get to the point where it's going to be uploaded by the time I leave this building today, but it's going to process. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. If you got any questions or comments in pertaining to this video, just hit me up at hogsn57gmail.com. My email address, description below. Say so G signing out. I'm gone.